ask you just some quick fun questions because I mean you seem to you're such a cool person. What you mentioned how you grew up like loving football, but why do you really love it now?
I've never stopped loving it. I just love the thrill of participating in the game and, working towards something and being supported and going into a game every single week and, playing it for the results. I'm a highly competitive person. I hate to lose, but I've learned how to lose. I have, although I hate it so much, but I've learned how, and I learned the hard way when I was a lot younger and my mom pulled me off. One day we had a cup
Jeez.
final and it was a very important game. It was almost like South Africa against Nigeria, and it was, score against Benoni Northerns, and they were the top rival team, and we were 1-0 down, and I was very angry at my teammates for costing the goal against us, and I just basically let the opponent run through. And my mom was on the sideline telling me to come off the pitch, and she didn't let me play for 2 games after that. So I really hated that, and I let my teammates down, and I really learned the hard lesson. So I'm just a competitor, but I have learned to lose and accept, when we can't always win. That's just how it is. And yeah, I don't know what exactly it is that I love this game so much. But I'm just, I can't live without it. If I don't play it, I watch it. If I don't get to watch it, then I study it. It's just in my blood that, I can't live without.
And you say, I mean, you with it all the time. So who are some of your favorite teammates and opponents and teams? And what do you like? Who do you really enjoy watching and playing with?
So I'm a big diehard Man United fan.
Oh, gosh.
Whether they lose or win, I'm a United fan. I don't miss a game of theirs unless I'm playing myself. And yeah, in South Africa, just have my own football team, so I don't really get to watch the men's football team back then. But when I was a lot younger, I would used to support Pirates as a team, and yeah, teammates. I've had so many. I think the best teammate that or the best player, I guess, that was a teammate that I've played with Carly Lloyd, former captain of the US national team, also record breaker. And yeah, I've played against many of the best players in the world today when I got to play in the States and played Champions League as well with Glasgow City in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, even though we lost by a large margin, but it was just about the experience and getting so far in the Champions League, I guess. And yeah, I can't really pinpoint many of favorite teammates. I think they're all unique in their own ways, and just love being surrounded by them, and the bus trips that I get to there, the travels, the locker room vibes that we get, especially with the national team when we actually get each other fired up in the change room. I'm sure you've seen so many videos of us singing and dancing and really getting ourselves pumped for a match. So yeah, it's all these small moments that make this game so worthwhile, and it's more than just football. It's the relationships that you connect with people. You get to travel the world and see different countries, learn about the cultures, learn about the different people. It's more than just the game. So that is why I think without football, I wouldn't have seen so many countries in this world, wouldn't have traveled so many places and eaten different foods and learned different cultures without this beautiful game that I play.
Yeah, what's been your favorite place to travel? I mean, I wanted to ask you how you understood anyone in Glasgow, but I more want to know where you've enjoyed traveling the most.
That took me a while, actually. But I think one of my favorite places definitely was Scotland, where I played.
Okay.
The people made me feel home. It was so warm. It's definitely a country that I would go to over and over again, despite the weather. I was really scared because I hate the cold, but just being surrounded in such a warm environment with the people there and the football that I love so much, I didn't even think about the weather at all. And Europe as a whole, I think one of my favorite was also the Netherlands, such a small little country, but also beautiful place to be in. And yeah, I think every country and place is so unique that you have a different memory. That it's really hard to point out which country was my favorite to be. But when I think of a place that I would love to go back to all the time, is definitely Scotland.
And despite all of that, I mean, you sound like a really proud South African, and our country's got a lot of problems. So I'm just wondering, like, what still makes you proud to be African, to be South African? I mean, to be a white South African.
We are so diverse and so multicultural, and we have beauty in our own ways. We are warm people, we are loving people, and all the struggle that we currently going through. It's always sports that I think unite the people more, that we forget about what the problem, what the country is going through in that moment of celebrations and so on. And but yeah, our country is so beautiful. There's many times that I talk to my teammates about South Africa, and they see Africa as such a beautiful continent, and we just see it as South Africa being South Africa, I guess. But when they come into our country, they embrace the weather, they embrace the animals that we have surrounded by us. They embrace the multicultural people that we have in our country that we should love and embrace too, because it is so diverse. It's not just one cultured, one dimensional way of living. So that is something that we have to embrace as a country, and that I will always embrace as a country. I do love it. I feel like it's my home. It will always be my home. It's a comfortable space that I love to be in. Sometimes I feel Europe is so, I mean, it's easy to live in Europe. Everything is accessible over there. And, South Africa is like a maze, and you have to find your way to places, and you struggle your way through. I call it the amazing race, because it puzzles me sometimes. But I just love to be in it with or without the problems that we have. I mean, every country has its own problems as well. It's just they handle it better than us, I guess. So yeah.